What's happening with the family though? Man, I want to ask y'all a question. Press 1 if you went to InvestFest and you had a good time. If you went to InvestFest and you had a good time, let me see a 1 in the chat. How my family doing? How the family doing? Yeah, we just coming off a very good high back in LA. So we about to have a good one. And then I want to give y'all some small updates about we were headed over now to go have a discussion in a meeting about this $45,000 grant. So I'm definitely excited to update the people on this one. It's going to be a competition. I want to say something because I believe that there has been a lot of love from InvestFest. Some people said that there was hate, but I think those were like gossip channels and stuff like that.
Water under the bridge.
Yeah, some men that have periods and stuff like that. So I get it. There might be that time of month for them. But for real people that really exist in real life, InvestFest is the single most important, I believe, the most important event that is happening right now. And the reason that I say that is for multiple reasons, right? I don't get paid to say this or whatever it may be. And it's not because those are my brothers over there as well, but because of what it represents. Some things represent way more, right? Because what we really talking about, going back to Dr. Claude Anderson, going back to Economic Blueprint of Elijah Muhammad, going back to Marcus Garvey, passing out stock papers for people to invest in his import and export businesses. Like, we have to go back to these points. And the beauty of, if you think about it globally, there are, a lot of economic events that happen in other communities, right? In higher classes, right? A lot of people know about Davos, but there are so many economic impact events that happen. Money comes together to talk about money. And they come together to talk about the future. They come together to talk about investment projects, ideas, where they want to invest, who they want to invest in, the problems of the world, how they're going to solve it, using their money, creating solutions. Like, people who believe that it's their job to decide the future of the world, they sit and they have conversations about it. So we have and this is not the only one that happens, but we need more of them, to be honest. We don't need there to just be one. We need there to be many, right? InvestFest just happens to be the largest one. I have friends that I know that are into the real estate business or into the investment business and venture capital business. Man, and the meetings they talk to me about is when they sitting around and there's people deciding and where billions of dollars are going to go. Billions of dollars, right? I'm talking about these people have infinite funds. And the conversations are about changing the world. Conversations about changing the future. So when we have one InvestFest, if you cannot create a similar one or a better one, number one, you shouldn't even speak. Especially if you're not outside. Keyboard warriors, stay home. If you're not outside where you in arm distance so somebody can slap you for your opinion, you have to stay home. You know what I mean? And just be quiet. Right? For real. It's always the people that will never get outside to get challenged. If you don't
have an opinion, at least come and give your personal opinion.
Yes.
Don't get on the platform and talk about what somebody else says.
If you cannot give constructive first, because I think the best part is I'm going to give constructive, because there's no way you can't find something good. You can't find something good about black businesses coming together to make money. This sister was telling me how, she didn't tell me directly, but she was telling on a testimonial on how her business went up to like $1 million a year. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many businesses. I get my own personal testimonies. I don't share them all the time. I've changed people's lives. I get them off addiction. We make them money. We get them in shape. We bring families together. I mean, the impact is immeasurable if we really be honest.
I even seen kids with booths this year.
Come on, man. Them young children, entrepreneurs.
I seen kids on the stage this year.
They was walking up to me, giving me these pictures. Man, these are some young people that I'm seeing year over year, and they're getting better, right? Like, I know for a fact that this event, and it's not an event, it's a movement. Because I think this year I enjoyed it because I felt like the quality of the people who showed up, I think were the best this year. Because, and this has always been my thesis, and shout out to Nikki in the building. I loved your breakdown yesterday. This has always been my thesis. That, it's not about the amount of people, it's about the quality of people, and it's about the depth of connection that you have with those people. Because if you're building a movement and you're building a culture, you want people that's there that really understand the movement and the culture. They're not fly by night, right? They're not the people that, if it was good this time, then I'm going to show up. But if it's not that good, then I'm not going to show up next time. No, there's people that's dedicated because they understand that, number one, and this is how all movements start, right? They're the people that show up at first, revolutionary. Like a lot of people, that this is their year 4. Not year 1 or 2, this is their year 4. They seen it the first time they heard it and they said, I got to be there. It only makes sense because I've been complaining about us not having enough. Of course, everybody that claims they want to vote for Trump so that they can live a life with better wealth, how could you not be there? Everybody that's claiming they want to vote for Kamala so that they can have a safer reality in future, how could you not be there when this is about self-sufficiency, right? This is about economic independence, economic opportunity, right? Like if we can applaud celebrities for showing up, for a campaign that has hundreds of millions of dollars behind it, where you're going to get a good look and a good PR stamp to be a part of a party, which is not revolutionary. That's easy for you to do. But you're not going to show up with something where it's the community trying to do for self. And then another thing is, I hated to see anybody complain about a price. $300? It's been 4 years. This thing has been going on. You're not taking, you can't tell me that you have a year to get $300 and that price is too high. You don't need to be there. You need to be home studying. You need to be home developing your skill set, right? You need to be home honing in on a different kind of mindset to get yourself right. You feel me? $300? Anybody that tell me $300 is too much, you should not be following 19 keys. I don't want you around me if you telling me that. I ain't saying that, you happen to not have it now. I'm saying that if you don't have it now, it's because your habits are bad. That is what it is. You have 365 days. So you got to think about the last 365 days that you just had, that you did not invest in self, that you did not save, you did not spend in the right directions. See, people be thinking limited. Well, I don't have it now. What about the people who can't afford? Think about the life that you did to set up so that you can take opportunities when they come. So if you couldn't make it, it's because you didn't set up your life to be prepared for the opportunity. Price is never the issue. Because if I told you, if you go there and you get $300 and you're going to meet the right person, you're going to hear the right information, you're going to be in the right circle. Or if I told you, listen, if you show up, you give me $300, you know what I mean? I'm gonna give you back $3,000. You will figure a way to get that. You will borrow some money. You go sell something. You go figure it out. Why? Because you understand the value of it. You understand all of a sudden your energy activates and you can manifest that and get it done. You operating on a whole different frequency. You thinking about the excitement that the opportunity brings. So that's why when I go on those stages, I give it my all when I speak. I give it my all because I know people are paying their hard-earned money. I know people are showing up for a transformation. Like, this is literally where you invest in yourself. But it doesn't start at InvestFest. It doesn't start with a damn InvestFest ticket. It starts every day in real life. Seeing these beautiful entrepreneurs year over year makes me happy because we be talking about Black Wall Street like it's some mythical creature that existed that was slayed. All right, what are you talking about? This is Black Wall Street. If you want to see it in real time, you want to see the black dollar circulate amongst black people, and that's not celebrated? Come on, man. We got to stop the cap, man. It was so much knowledge. Like, when you go to a place like that, all you need is one connect. All you need is one piece of information that makes it worth it. So you have to check your intent when you go to places. What am I going for? right? And what will make my experience worth it? Do not wait for somebody else to make your experience worth it. I never go to a place and wait for somebody else to provide the value. I come in there with the intention. I need to meet this person. I'm going to get this contact. I'm going to get this picture. I'm going to close this deal. I'm going to make this content over here that I can then go use later on, right? I'm going to learn something that I can go immediately apply in my business that will give me at least a tweak in that business that over time will accumulate way more money than I just spent. Come on, stop playing with me. Look at Human say he met him a 6-figure client. I don't know what y'all talking about. I met me some beautiful people there. You know what I'm saying? People that's from other countries, and this is where y'all don't understand. Y'all really messed up and not seeing the value and not seeing how big this is. It's people from all over the world, countries and corporations, and they looking at this. Why? Because this is the influence of economics in the black community. And economics of the black community is everybody's business.
You know what I enjoyed this year? I seen a lot of young black men at InvestFest this year trying to get their shit together. You know, not even trying. I'm going to take that out. They came out just for the networking and to get the experience, the knowledge, the information. And I was telling everybody that I met, it's cool to network and get all these numbers and business cards, but the most important thing is the follow-up.
The follow-up. Somebody say, now, I always like taking questions. If it works, why charge respectfully? We charge because it works. What do you mean? I don't get it. We charge because it works. If you got something that works well, you've created a product or a service. That means that's a value. Can you name me how to throw that event without charging and to make money? Can you show me how to do that?
Let's break it down logically to you. You got to pay for venues. You got to pay for the guests, the speakers that come. You got to make sure, you know what I'm saying? It's stuff that go behind the scenes. You got to pay your staff to work the venue. It's stuff that come behind that.
It even goes into, I'm talking with Rashad. I'm like, y'all get used to seeing when, like I'm going to end up doing another tour. But people get used to seeing the work, right? And so they stop appreciating how special it is and how much work it takes, right? But when you see people going on press runs, you got to get up every day. You got to go speak to somebody else. You got to go on this other platform. It stopped being special to you. It started being work to you. Right? You got to go talk to all of these different reporters. You got to do all this marketing. You got to have countless meetings to reiterate, to get things right. You got to have emergency meetings on stuff that's not going right. There's plans that you're trying to implement. You got to go back and forth. There's expenses that you didn't account for. Right? There's things that you wanted to happen that now couldn't happen. There's a million fires to put out. How can a person even be enthused to do an event like that without being compensated properly? It would not happen. It just won't. And this is why it has not happened in the past. I used to go to black expos when I was younger. People stopped having them. People stopped having them. You know what I'm saying? People stopped having them. Look, this sister say she flew from St. Martin to InvestFest, managed to bag a large opportunity during American Sesh. That ROI on that $250 ticket done 10,000x. Stop playing with people.
I met a lot of people from the UK. People was coming in from Canada over the weekend. It was a lot of people coming from
all you have to do, and this is another disrespectful thing. Y'all be wanting too much for your money sometimes. Like one did $300, and this is something I want anybody to understand this shit. I don't care if you're dead broke, if you got no money in the bank. $300 is not a lot of money. And if you think it is, and you live in America, there's something wrong with the way you think, and the way you live, and the way you operate. I don't ever want nobody to think $300 is a lot of money. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about the people that follow me. I ain't talking about anybody on the street, but we live in America. It's the home of money-making capital. Yes, things cost way too much out here. Prices are up, right? It's disrespectful. But either you come or you don't. But then you also have tickets that you can buy to watch at home, which means you can bring your whole family around. Y'all can sit and have a conversation about this information, and then y'all can have a plan of execution for implementation. So you can't tell me that's not a great opportunity for you and your family to sit down and plan together. Somebody, am I making sense here? So you and your family cannot sit down and have this conversation, which can change the trajectory of your family. So I don't want to hear no excuses. I loved it. I'm happy for it. I want to see it continue to grow and thrive. When I do events of the same caliber, I want everybody to come support. Why? Because when you shift in a paradigm, when you change in a world, there's things that have to happen. There has to be events, there has to be media, there has to be literature, right? It starts to become the norm, and that's the goal. How do we take something that looks like black excellence and make it a black normal reality? So that young men be like, man, all right, I could go to this concert that is literally going to take money away, have me thinking in a negative manner because now I'm on my lower. All you doing is chasing something. Or instead, you can take that same money and you can go spend it on something like this, which is an investment. So you can't tell me that the money that black people are spending, which we spend 70%, I talked about this at InvestFest, we spend 70% of our dollar on luxury goods and apparel. But that's not what we're complaining about. I want to see us make content complaining about that more, boycotting that more. Go boycott Bernard Arnault and his lack of investment in the black community. Yeah, we are some of the biggest consumers of his product. I just wanted to get that out. That was on my chest because I really respect what's being done, and foreign investors, and they're looking, they saying, how can we bring this in Africa? How can we bring this in the UK? How can we bring this in Canada? How can we do this in Dubai? How can we bring this in places? Because they want that same spirit. They have a CES technology show in Vegas every single year. All it is bringing all the vendors that come, and they pay a lot of money to be a vendor to show their technology. There's no guarantee for nothing else. When they do a Davos event, countries are paying up to $100,000+ to have a booth there so they can be represented. Y'all gotta understand that this is small in comparison where we need to be. And this is for the people who really are going to be the ones that usher in the new world. The shift has happened. And if you don't believe that, it's because you're not a part of it. But the shift has happened. We ain't going back. The CES show. So all of those shows that we be seeing that deal around economics, we need all of those. We need the technology shows, the science shows, the manufacturing shows, all of it.
I like how you were saying, like, hip-hop is just an aspect of black people. We got other, come on, break that concept down for
Well, I think we just proved it. Like, you know, in my lifetime, this is the first time you really get to see rappers like 50 Cent. This is the first time he ever had a crowd like that, where people wanted to hear him talk about business. We wasn't there to see you rap. You know what I mean? We wasn't there to see you entertain us off your old catalog, which is classic, by the way. No, we want to hear about Shreveport investments. We want to hear about how when you put together your book deal with Robert Greene, you know what I mean? We want to hear about the vitamin water. We want to hear about how you took the spirit companies to the next level and how you've been fighting. We want to hear about how you navigated the lawsuits. We want to hear about how you've been able to become a mogul and on your road to $1 billion. We want to hear about how you've been able to create a media enterprise and how you've navigated your way and developed from being a rapper who was praising himself as a drug dealer, a gangster, and a killer to a media mogul businessman intellect. What we looking at is the evolution. So when Jim Jones would come there and he talking about his tech app, that's evolution. You know what I mean? Well, all of these rappers and singers and actors, they there to talk to our community about business. And isn't that what we complained about for so long? It's just now they have a platform to where it's respected and or celebrated, because the way things are ran by numbers. So if I talk to you, if I go on Shannon Sharp and I talk about gossip and I talk about nothingness and I get millions of views, guess what? The sponsor's going to say, I'm a sponsor for that to happen again. I'm going to give you money so that happens again. Then the celebrity say, well, this is where the attention is. Obviously, this is what people want to hear. So I'm going to go and do that same thing. So it's done again. Right? But they probably want to talk about their business deals, how they've been navigating things, how they've been growing spiritually, right? How they've been tapped into 19 Keys high-level conversations and seeing a brand new archetype in the world, how they've been seeing the American dream, right, through the Earn Your Leisure platform, be cemented in Black America. They probably want to talk about those things. But if Black people hear them talk about that, will we then drive in numbers to listen? So they say, well, damn, if I talk about it and nobody watches then, and nobody listens then, they're going to say I fell off. Because I'm talking about what I really care about. So people learn to play the algorithm game. So instead, they have to create a platform for people to be, for that side of themselves, to be seen as valuable and appreciated and respected. So when we talk about the culture, that aspect, when 50 Cent was a rapper, yes, we looked at that as entertainment culture. Entertainment culture, an aspect of the reflected horrors and the realities that he grew up in. Get rich or die trying, right? That was an aspect. But then when he grew into a media mogul, when he had $1 billion or he had $100+ million buyout from his vitamin drink, that was culture as well. We can just use 50 Cent as, because the pie chart of 50 Cent, all of these things are culture. The music is culture. The business is culture. The media is culture. The growth is culture. The author is culture. Those are cultural things, an aspect. But when you look at it, you think about it's just music and just hip-hop. No, hip-hop ain't responsible for all of that. He wasn't the first Black author. He wasn't the first Black businessman. What was the first Black woman that was a businesswoman? Madam CJ, she wasn't the first Black woman, but she was one of the second Black millionaire. That's culture. Dr. Carver Washington made all of these soy and plastic products. That's culture, invention, innovation. Marcus Garvey was he was handing out stock certificates to people that showed up. Just like how we had InvestFest, Marcus Garvey would have an event like that where people would then be able to invest in his businesses. That's culture all the way from the 1920s. When we out there and we building media companies, that's culture. Us as the greatest influencers on the planet Earth where everything revolves around us, that is culture. Us as the greatest speakers, social advocates, health advocates, and revolutionaries, that's culture. Come on now, stop it. This is culture. When you see 19 Keys, 50 Cent, Tech with X, Steve Harvey, 50 Cent, Ian Dunlap, that's culture. It's spectrum. Now, I've been so involved in the shift in the culture, that's why I'm happy to see it. I came in a game with this intention for this to happen. And you best believe my impact is heavy. So hell yeah, I'm going to be proud when I see the change that I help implement in this world. I'm proud when I see the implementation of that. You talking about? And when you do it, that's why I'm going to be doing a lot of consultations, because I really want to give people the game on how to do it the right way. When it comes to branding, when it comes to a movement, when it comes to design, right? You see the booth. The booth was beautiful. What's the sister name that did the booth for us?
I can't think of the top. I want to say her name was Ashley.
Okay, I'm going to have to make sure that I repost
it's either
and shout
Ashley
her
or
out.
Angela. It's something with an A.
But our booth was beautiful this year. It was beautiful this year. A lot of people said, you know, on my Donald Trump, some people would say we had the best booth. They said we had the best. They definitely said we had the best.
I ain't gonna even say some people said we did have the best. And it's okay to say that you had us.
That's what they said. They said we had the best.
Some people say I'm a salesman of the year.
They said he was the salesman of the year. That's what they said.
That's what they say.
That's what they said. Okay? They said it was the best.
This is not fake news.
The best they've ever seen in the history of the universe, of all expos.
They say
every
year
fest.
it gets better and better at the high level.
Woo! Oh my God! You know, so it was really good. We practiced a lot of design aesthetic ethos with the booth number one. The team did amazing this year. The back end was set up amazing. Blue Pill brought some really dope people through. It was amazing. Steve was selling everything, except his soul. It was amazing. You know what I mean? Kalima was there making sure everybody left with some gold. It was amazing. And Jira was there managing, making sure everything was happening as it was supposed to be on schedule. It was amazing. My nieces and nephews was helping as we was doing the meet and greet. It was amazing, right? My pops was there talking to all of the people, having his pies outside. It was amazing. My mother was bringing the glow to the booth, making sure it was all good and beautiful. It was amazing. Bree was there handling the sales,
no, shout out
making
to
sure
Matchy, man.
it was amazing. Oh, I ain't even gonna get out. You skipping the skip before I get to the.
Go ahead,
you
man.
feel
Get
me?
to it, man.
You know what I'm saying? My brother Solomon was there making sure taking testimonials. It was amazing. We had a few volunteers. We had a few people that we hired to bring on staff for the site. We had the security that was there handling business, holding us down. He brought his wife with him. It was amazing. We had a Mechie being MVP, making sure everything was getting done. Who know how they band? Who got they band? What we need to do? Who needs to get on the stage? How we need to handle this? What needs to get done? No excuses. No crying, no arguments, just getting it done. We had Sean make sure I stepped outside and I was shining like the God I was supposed to be. Now listen, y'all know every year, I ain't gonna lie, me and Steve Harvey was the flyers this year. Steve Harvey, he went to Florida and he stole a bunch of alligators or crocodiles, whatever, and he just ripped them up and made a jacket, okay? That's what he did. I know what he did. He probably went and picked them himself and wrestled them. Steve Harvey wasn't playing. So I'll give myself number 1. I give Steve Harvey number 2. And that's just me being fair. I don't know who was number 3. Doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
This is gold and silver Olympic medalists. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Olympic medalists. It was amazing. This year, my inspiration was Cosmic Blackness. So I had them go find me some Vanta Black material. I needed the darkest material that they could find, right? Because there's been all this conversation about who's black and who's not. And I say, man, we got to show up as the dark matter, the ether, the blackest that you can possibly be. You know what I mean? So we surrounded ourselves with that dark matter, that energy, because, you know, a black hole is the condensing of stars and energy. So I'm representing that energy, and we made sure that we had the black crystals on the clothing. Oh, man. Then we put it on side the headband, and we had our own shoes made. These were one-of-a-kind shoes. Had to go get it tailored beforehand, and we stepped outside. Oh, man. It was magnificent. It was beautiful. It was harmonious, you know. And that's what it's all about, man. When you go show up to an event like that, you got to treat it like it's the highest level at all times. So dress your flyest, smell your best, be on your greatest behavior, make sure your energy is right as you walk in the room, right? Be ready to speak, communicate, network, make sure that the aesthetic and the design of everything that you do, because we're representing the future.
When you say represent, right, I did a lot of interviews over the weekend, but it was one that stood out to me the most. And then after we did the interview, the guy was like, I like how y'all team work together. He was like, I want to build my team up like that. What do I look for? And I say, all you got to do is keep doing what you're doing. Stay consistent. And your team going to come to you. People going to start reaching out to you and want to work with you because they see how consistent you is. But don't, because it's hard finding people. Some people only want to work for the check. Everybody don't believe in the vision, you know?
Yeah.
So it's hard finding people like that. But I was telling him, like, as long as you stay consistent and keep your energy intact and keep putting out your content, the team gonna find you.
Yeah, I think number 1 is loyalty. Loyalty is tough around here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, on the front end, you know, I ain't nowhere near perfect behind the scenes. I don't claim to be, and that's why I say it all the time. I'm working to get better at business. I'm working to get better at leadership. I'm working to get better at communication, right? Like, there's so many things that I'm working on getting better and better, especially as this grows, which is why it's like controlling the growth is necessary. I could explode to the top of the mountain, to the top of the world if I wanted to. Controlling your pace is important, right? Some people want to grow for the point of, and then when you grow, you can't handle it. So we at a point of perfecting this level and then scaling it all the way out, right? So as long as it requires to perfect this level, we gonna be at this level. But when it's perfected, then we go to the next level, right? And by next level, I mean like it's going to be light years and quantum leaps beyond where we are now. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We're perfecting. But once it get to a point to where I feel like everybody is good in their position, then we can say, all right, bring in more responsibility, bring in more everything, and let's get it going. But it's like this level has to be perfected because I'm not satisfied, right? There's so many things that can be better. There's so many more things that can be plugged in to make it more efficient. There's things that I can do to make things better. And so, as I said earlier today, if you inside the High Level Club group, make a list of all the things you hate and get them done. Because that's where your next reality starts. It starts with all the things you hate to do. Because those are the things you're going to put the last
and do the
or
hardest
never.
thing first.
Yeah.